The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. The beast I saw resembled a leopard, but had feet like those of a bear and a mouth like that of a lion. The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. One of the heads of the beast seemed to have had a fatal wound, but the fatal wound had been healed. The whole world was filled with wonder and followed the beast. People worshipped the dragon because he had given authority to the beast, and they also worshipped the beast and asked, "Who is like the beast? Who can wage war against it?" The beast was given a mouth to utter proud words and blasphemies, and to exercise its authority for 42 months. It opened its mouth to blaspheme God and to slander his name and his dwelling place and those who live in heaven. It was given power to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them, and it was given authority over every tribe, people, language, and nation. All inhabitants of the earth will worship the beast, all whose names have not been written in the Lamb's book of life, the Lamb who was slain from the creation of the world. Whoever has ears, let them hear. If anyone is to go into captivity they will go. If anyone is to be killed with a sword they will be killed. This calls for patience, endurance, and faithfulness on the part of God's people. Then I saw a second beast coming out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. It exercised all the authority of the first beast on its behalf, and made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. And it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to the earth in full view of the people. Because of the signs it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast, it deceived the inhabitants of the earth. It ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. The second beast was given power to give bread to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refused to worship the beast, the image, to be killed. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had a mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom, lest the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. That number is 666. Greeting, guys. It is me here with a message of the kingdom of heaven. All right, guys, we are finishing now. This is our last part. This is now John from the book of Revelations, chapter 13. Right, we started from verse 1 right down to the last verse, which is verse 18. Nevertheless, here, guys, we are understanding as well, because John is also speaking about these different beasts, just like Daniel had done. Daniel actually told us about the 3 beasts, and he explained them. If you go there, you go to Daniel 7, you'll find he explains those different beasts, and then he also tells us about the last one, the most powerful one, the one that is able to deceive. So here, if you read Revelations 13, Revelations 14, Revelations 15, 17, and go right down to Revelations 18, you'll find the whole story, because John is seeing like a lot, guys, like a lot, you understand? But he's also speaking about the same thing that is so powerful that is going to be deceiving. People are going to be deceived by this beast. And the mere fact, guys, that all these prophets, including my Lord, are saying that they're going to deceive, it's because he's powerful. You understand? The tactic he used to deceive people is a tactic that you wouldn't think. You understand? As I said, guys, I was speaking in the last part where I was speaking about Paul, with the beast. Paul was actually saying that the beast will actually be a man of lawlessness, and he is exalting himself, you understand, and setting himself and proclaiming himself as God, because it's going to be blaspheming, you understand, and people are going to be deceived by him. So here John is speaking about the same thing, but there's one thing I want us to concentrate on here, that Paul is talking about. He is talking about the fact that he had this horn that he blasphemed. In fact, it's verse 11. It says, "Then I saw a second beast coming out of the earth. It had two horns like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. Guys, that one is very telling. That one is very powerful. It exercised all the authority of the first beast on its behalf and made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast whose fatal wound had been healed. So here John is actually getting more of this, and is actually describing more, because it's also giving the number of this beast. People know about this number, so there are people are actually waiting for it, and the number will come. But right now he's actually working in the spirit realm and is working in secret, you understand. But verse 11 is saying that it had two horns like of a lamb. A lamb, guys, is Jesus. We know that is Jesus. So in other words, he's going to be speaking like Jesus, but he spoke like a dragon. In other words, he's going to be, hiding himself, you understand, as Jesus. He's actually going to be revealing himself as Jesus, meaning, guys, is going to be using the church again. Guys, if it's two horns like a lamb is Jesus. We all know that Jesus is a lamb. So what he is actually doing here is actually trying to be seen like Jesus. Now, how will Satan be seen like Jesus? There's one way, guys. One way, using the word as well as using church buildings. You understand? So that one is very powerful, because you see, guys, whenever you see someone who goes to church, in your mind it's like, wow, this person is right. This is a righteous person. You understand? So Satan knows our mindset, that whenever we think of a church, whenever we think of someone going to church, that person is right, that person is righteous, that person is a believer. No. And here we are getting that Satan is using that. That's why we've been speaking so much about the woes to the churches. We're not exposing churches, but we wanted to get to this to make you understand that Satan is going to use the word, and we wanted to show you how he uses the word. That's why we mentioned those churches. We did not mention all the churches. There's not even a single church here on earth that is in line with the word of God. In fact, I've never met any, you understand. They all pick this and pick that, and then they have beliefs that are contrary to the word, particularly the new covenant, because we are in the new covenant, you understand. So Satan is using the word. He knows that if he uses the word, and make sure that the people who are sent, are carrying Bibles and actually erect, church buildings, everyone will believe, wow, Jesus is there. Jesus is preached there. You understand? And Jesus says, if they say there the Messiah is there, there the Messiah is here, don't go. Why? It's the false prophet. It's the false prophet. So you need to be careful. The one thing you need to understand about the beast is that he's using signs and wonders. He knows that people want miracles. He knows that people love magic a lot. Guys, we're not talking about this kind of magic. You understand. Everyone knows that magic is coming from Satan. But this kind of magic is coming from the church. It's coming from people who claim to be pastors. It's coming from people who are preaching prosperity, people who are preaching blessings, people who are preaching riches, you understand, and they will tell you that God is going to forgive you, is going to forgive you. They don't care about you obeying daddy. They don't care about the fact that you are doing your own will. To them, it's God is going to forgive you. And you also love that because it's a nice message. Oh, he's going to forgive me. Oh, well, I'm doing this thing. God is going to forgive me, and he will make me this blessed story. I mean, guys, who doesn't want to hear that? If you don't want to hear that, you are a fool. So I am a fool. Guys, I am a fool because I don't want to hear that. But who doesn't want to hear that? Oh, God is going to forgive you. You're having sex with your partner outside marriage. Don't worry, God is going to forgive you. You're loving money. He says that you shouldn't love money. You love it. Don't worry, he's going to forgive you. You're loving the things of the world. He says that you shouldn't be loving the things of the world. Oh no, don't worry, he's going to forgive you. Guys, who doesn't want to hear that? I want to hear that. Guys, everyone wants to hear that, you understand? But if this pastor is saying this and is performing miracles, damn, this pastor is preaching exactly what I want to hear and is performing miracles, damn, he is of God. Jesus performed miracles. The prophets performed miracles. Damn, he is of God. You understand? So they don't care. So Paul calls him the man of lawlessness. You understand? He deceives even the elect, if that were possible. Why? Because guys, the level to which he will deceive people is so high, is so strong. So you need to be careful. So here John is saying that this horn is like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. You understand? So this is Satan, but he's speaking like Jesus. Where will Satan speak like Jesus? Guys, let me ask you this question. Where will Satan speak like Jesus? Satan will speak like Jesus through the word. Satan will speak like Jesus in church buildings, inside church buildings. You understand? So if there is, guys, hello, you think about it. There is no way you can catch Satan. It's just difficult. Because of that, that's why we wrote that series. That's why, guys, we published that series about churches. We were not exposing churches, we were not exposing pastors, but we were exposing how Satan blasphemes. And it worshipped the first beast whose fatal wound had been healed, and it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to the earth in full view of people. Guys, so people are going to be amazed because of the signs it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast. It deceived the inhabitants of the earth. You understand? So people believed it. Guys, people believed it because of these powers. And guess what Paul says? He says, whoever has ears, let them hear. If anyone is to go into captivity they will go. If anyone is to be killed with a sword will be killed. This calls for patience, endurance, and faithfulness on the part of God's people. You understand? So I was talking about Nebuchadnezzar, the fact that the Israelites were secluded, so they will often let other kingdoms, capture them, and most Israelites will give in to the beliefs of those kingdoms, but Daniel did not. So we are not secluded because Jesus' sheep, elect, is scattered throughout the ends of the earth, so we can't be secluded, so we're living among people who have different beliefs. You understand? Now, what happens is that if ever these beliefs, guys, are forced to us, John says that if anyone is to go into captivity they will go. If anyone is to be killed with a sword will be. You understand? This calls for patience, endurance, and faithfulness on the part of God's people. So you have to endure. You guys, you need to get this, guys. You need to understand this. It was given power to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them. And it was given authority over every tribe, language, people, and nation. All inhabitants of the earth will worship the beast, all whose names have not been written in the Lamb's book of life, the Lamb who was slain from the creation of the world. So you understand, guys, that people will be deceived. People will follow. People will believe this. And people, guys, are believing this. People, guys, are believing this because the beast is using money and material things. It's not many things, guys. That's what things, guys, the beast is going to use. It's money and material things. So once you control yourself and you don't love money and you don't love the things of the world, the beast won't get you. That's why I often mention those sins. There are more sins, guys, many sins, you understand? But you will ask yourself, why do I continue mentioning these sins? It's simple. It's because these ones, guys, are innate, you understand? They're like our inheritance, you understand? They are in us. They are inborn, you understand? So once you master them and you're able to stand the truth, you will be able to defeat the beast, you understand? It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slaves, to receive a mark on their right hand or their forehead, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had a mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. Now, you can't sell or buy unless you have this. Meaning, guys, at that time, when it is stronger than this, people will be forced to have it in order to go to the shop and buy bread. Meaning you can't eat without this mark. You can't eat without, you understand? You can't sell. If you have a business, you can't sell without this mark. So at that time, it calls for patience. You understand? It calls for endurance. It calls for faithfulness on God's people. If it means you must die, so die. You understand? So guys, it's very, very important. So guys, we are finished. We are done. So I wanted you to understand, guys, about the beast from these 4 people, important people, particularly my Lord. But my Lord was actually in line with what John is saying, with what Paul was saying, and in line with what Daniel was saying. You understand? So you have to understand that. Go home, you read Daniel 7, Matthew 24, 2 Corinthians 2, as well as the Revelations 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Thank you.